What's up guys, this is Retro Collector 101 back here with another video, and in this video I'll be telling you guys which Game Boy Advance you should get. So the first Game Boy Advance that I'm going to talk to you about is the Game Boy Advance. So the Game Boy Advance is alright compared to the other three, which will be the Game Boy Advance SP, which is here, and the Game Boy Micro. So the one thing that is good about the Game Boy Advance is the fact that it's actually backwards compatible, meaning that it can also play Game Boy and Game Boy Color games as well as the Game Boy Advance games, obviously. But the one downside to it is that it doesn't have a backlit display, meaning that you'll probably have to connect a worm light in this out right here, which is a bit annoying because it actually blocks some of the view when you want to play in the dark. Or if you want to play in the light, you'll have to find the best angles because it's a very reflective display, which is a bit annoying. But the other positive thing about this is that you can actually play it like this, sideways, compared to like this with the Game Boy Advance SP, which you can see right here. So overall, I think that the Game Boy Advance SP is a bit better than the Game Boy Advance, but if you want a cheaper alternative, I think that the Game Boy Advance is still a viable option. Especially these days, you can actually buy modded Game Boy Advances with a backlight for a bit more than $100 USD, sometimes $200 depending on how good of a Game Boy and how good the quality of the backlight you want. But overall, I think that the non-backlight model is not the best, but it's not the worst at the same time. Now moving on is the Game Boy Advance SP. So this one came out about 3-4 years after the Game Boy Advance. Well, at least the Game Boy Advance AGS 101 did. So this is the 001 model. As you can probably tell at the back right here, the difference between the AGS 101 model and the AGS 001 model is that the 101 model is backlit while the 001 model is not. So the short answer is that the 001 is worse than the 101 because the front light display is not as bright as a backlit display. But if you want a cheaper alternative, like how we decided about the Game Boy Advance, which is still a bit more expensive than the Game Boy Advance, but cheaper than the Game Boy Advance SP AGS 101, then I think the 001 is a viable option. But if you have the extra money and you can spend about $100 USD on a Game Boy Advance, or maybe even cheaper these days depending on the condition you want it, then I think that the 101 is actually a better alternative. I almost forgot to say this, but the Game Boy Advance SP, both models are backwards compatible as well as the Game Boy Advance. Now moving on to the last model that came out quite late is the Game Boy Micro. So the Game Boy Micro is very, very small. In fact, just to put it into comparison with a pencil, it's smaller. So actually comparing it to the Advance, since the Advance is the same orientation compared to the upright, like the SP, it is quite a bit smaller. So for people with smaller hands, I guess you'll like it. And the display is backlit compared to the non-backlit display on the Advance, which is great. In fact, I think that the Micro has the best screen because since it's a small display, the pixels are squished together to make the text look a bit more crisp, and same with the corners, especially when you're playing games like Zelda that have very small text that really make you want to buy a less blocky Game Boy. But at the same time, it can go both ways because since it's a small display, if you have problems with your vision or if you wear glasses, then it may be a bit hard to actually see the display properly. So in conclusion, I gotta say that the Micro just ain't gonna cut it for one of these options. Also because it's not backwards compatible, meaning that it can only play Game Boy Advance games, not Game Boy games or even Game Boy Color games. In fact, the cartridges cannot even fit into the slot. So the Advance ones can, but the Game Boy cartridges cannot at all. Now moving to the last thing, which is a bummer for one of the options right here, since this is the oldest one. These two are actually rechargeable while this one isn't. So this one has to take AA, while you can actually get a modded version with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, which is a bit of a downside if you only have those old school Duracell batteries. But if you have the rechargeable ones, it's actually not that big of a deal. So if you want to save money and get the cheap option with no rechargeable battery, no backlit screen, but backwards compatibility, then I think this isn't that bad. Well, with these two, they actually have lithium-ion batteries, meaning that you can recharge them whenever you want, wherever you want as well. So to conclude this, I gotta say that the Gameboy Micro is not that great, really, because it's too small and it's not backwards compatible. Now, the Game Boy Advance, I feel, is a great option if you want to save money and if you really just want to see what the Game Boy Advance games are compared to the original Game Boy games, then I also think it's fine. But again, you got to know it's a non-backlit screen, which makes it a bit cheaper, and it really doesn't have a rechargeable battery, which is a bit of a downside. And lastly, the reigning champion that I think is the best solution if you have those extra bucks to spare is the Game Boy Advance SP. AGS 101 to be specific, but the 001 is just fine. That's because it really checks out all the boxes. It's compact, it has a rechargeable battery, it has a backlit or frontlit screen, meaning that's easy to play in the dark, and the best feature of all that I think the Game Boy Micro would have been great if it had that feature is the backwards compatibility. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'll try to be posting more often because I couldn't post during the last few months since I was a bit caught up, you know, COVID. But anyways, thank you for watching and I hope that you have a great day. Bye now.